Hello and welcome to this week's webinar. My name is Nathan Batchelor. I'll be your host for today. Before I begin, just going to read through this disclaimer. Please feel free to read along as well. Beyond Trader LLC is strictly a research publishing firm. Information we publish is based on our opinions plus our quantitative models, statistical and financial data, and independent research. This service is not registered with any financial regulatory agency, such as the SEC or any other organization or governmental body. By using our platform or our services, you acknowledge that we do not provide personalized recommendation or advice. Alternative asset classes are volatile investments and carry significant risk. Please do your own research before making any financial decisions. Okay, so as always, this Sunday I'm going to be doing the educational topic, and this week we're going to be looking at the parabolic SAR indicator. If I was to give the SAR indicator a score out of 10, I'd probably give it about a 5. It can be very good at times, but also it can be quite lagging and I guess tricky to use, and I'll explain why in a little while. If we get look at further down at I guess the relevance to the current market, I think I'm going to incorporate obviously it against Bitcoin this week and how it's relating to the current price action. And also I'm going to be, I guess, using that indicator on top of some altcoins, and we'll see how they look in terms of this parabolic SAR at this current moment in time. So having a look at the key consideration. So I guess the best way to start with the parabolic SAR indicator is to say that it's used by traders to determine the trend and look at price reversals. So obviously there's two dynamics there that we need to start with. So if we were to look at an example for Bitcoin daily chart, and we start back in June, we could basically see that we started to trade underneath the dots and we had like a bearish bias. And then when you see the price trading in between the dots, it's like a neutral zone. And again, we slipped underneath there. And now we're back above the dots. So we've had a buy signal basically since the 15th of July, and that's worked out pretty well so far. So overall, in very layman's terms, this is how you're going to use the parabolic SAR at the moment, and it's kind of alluding to the fact you can see these dots here that the price would have to really slip beneath maybe like 57,600 in terms for the daily time frame to turn bearish. So those are some of the ways how we can incorporate it. Other points to note is that this technical indicator it kind of uses a trailing stop method, hence why, you know, like as the price moves up, so do the dots, and is kind of a stop and reverse method called SAR. And to identify, and it basically identifies suitable exit and entry points. So what I will say with this trading stop loss is if we do go back and test the dots, but we don't fail or move underneath there, then sometimes we can see a little bit of consolidation in the market before we move higher. That can often happen with this indicator as well. And I'm moving on to the weekly time frame, and we can see that we are underneath the dots at the moment. So strangely enough, the weekly time frame is bearish and it won't turn bullish until around 69,960. Now, that could make sense for a variety of reasons, not just least because it's 70,000 is a key psychological level, and also the fact that we've got a key swing high up there that probably needs to be knocked out at some point if we are going to head higher. So these are the reasons why the price would turn bullish if we moved above that level on the weekly time frame. And obviously we can see here that even though we have kind of like turned bearish underneath 60k and we got that large drop off, and then the price remained underneath the dots, which was kind of a future clue that we might struggle in like on the weekly time frame unless we broke above a new high. So that's why we fell lower. So again, it's very important that we break above these dots going future. I guess this week, for the lack of a better word, we could maybe see a test towards there. So other uses is to enter into a position when the price penetrates the dots, as we might see on the weekly time frame. And so obviously that will be a buy, and a sell if the price crosses below on whatever time frame that you're looking at. So this is a 4 hour time frame, and it's obviously a lot more sensitive. Obviously, with Bitcoin, I don't give an awful lot of weight to the lower time frames. I tend to look most of the time at the higher time frames, but the lower time frames basically alluding to a couple of interesting levels, so, 66,300 and around about 64,000. So the 4 hour time frame will officially turn bearish if we slip underneath there, but don't be surprised if we move back and maybe test this support area and that holds and then we lift off, something like that. So a reversal occurs when these dots flip. It can flip at any time. Um, the price doesn't need to flip. The indicator can sometimes flip by itself, but reversal signal in the SAR does not necessarily mean a reversal, I would say, in the trend and the price. So if we look at the monthly indicator, obviously we need to do a hell of a lot of damage to the downside to move towards about 40,000 in order to dent the monthly time frame. So please bear these factors in mind. And also the significance of the monthly time frame as well. You can see back in 2023 or late 2023, we've been underneath the dots, I think, since around 2022. And after we fully broke underneath there in 2022, we again late 2023, we crossed above there. So I would say it's a good sign that these dots are trending up. And at the moment, there's no reason to be worried on a monthly time frame. And I guess as well, if we were to categorize the parabolic SAR, it works well for capturing profits by entering in the trade during a trend in a steady market. And again, that's a great example on the monthly time frame. If we look a little bit further out on the 3 month time frame, and we can see there that we have just started to flip bullish on the quarterly or the 3 month time frame as well. And that's generally a very, very good sign going forward. So I guess overall, the benefit of using the parabolic SAR is it can help to determine the price and the direction. I guess in a strong trending environment, this indicator really comes into its own. But I guess also it does have some flaws for false signals. If you want to hold on to a trade for a long time, again, there's a large margin for error there, and the 4 hour time frame I think is not really conclusive enough unless you're very, very short-term trader and you're good at entering and exiting the market very, very well. And I guess good example of how you could really incorporate this would be for something like MAGA coin. So if this is a coin that you're extremely bullish on, and for whatever fundamental reason, there's like a new coin that you're looking at, and you want to know when to enter into the market. I guess this could be applicable, and also when to take profit. So when we're above the dots, and again, like if we start to trade below them, it could be a warning to take some profits off the table. So again, a coin that you suspect is going to make a lot of money in future or is about to make a lot of money, this could be a good indicator that we attach it to. Looking at the relevance to the market and I guess some more widely used cryptos or some more widely traded cryptos, I think before we get to that part, let's start with the crypto total market cap. And again, it's very similar to Bitcoin in that the parabolic SAR is saying that the entire market would have to move above 2.38 trillion in order to turn bullish. I think 2.55, and that also coincides with some trend lines. So when you get some complementary evidence, that's also a really great sign. We can see the trend lines and the parabolic SAR are lining up. So maybe at some point we might come and hold above there. So at the moment, it's saying that the entire market isn't completely bullish yet. It's still got some work to do, but when it does, I suspect, there's going to be a breakout, and I would expect it to be from the size of that channel. So maybe from like 1.9 to 2.55. So pretty significant breakout towards 3 trillion. And if we look on something very closely, like the 4 hour time frame, if you're thinking about getting into the market now because you suspect that there's going to be a big breakout at some point or another, then I guess you could look at the 4 hour time frame as just one part of entering the market. But I guess I wouldn't use it solely. If we look at something like Uniswap, it's kind of giving an indication that it's very close to turning bullish. It's moving near those dots around about 850. So that's the level to watch out for in the week to come. It's kind of showing that we're not quite bullish yet on Uni, but we're very close to. And also, I guess once we go above there, bear in mind these dots here, they're going to start to move higher, like a trending stop loss. If we do go into a large bullish market, then much like in May, those dots are going to start to trend higher, which shows that the market's probably got tremendous scope for growth, and so does uni. And if we have a look on the weekly time frame, it would need to merely make 100% in order for it to turn bullish. So that's both good and bad. It shows you that it's got a long way to go in order to turn bullish, but it also shows you the great scope that it's got once it does turn bullish. It could be a 3xer. And also note here what's been going on since 2022. As I say in technical analysis, the wider the base, the higher the space. So this unicorn could really take off in some point in future. And again, it's kind of coinciding with this lovely trend line here. And yeah, it's kind of alluding to the fact that we could easily see a 3x trade if this really does start to take off. If we have a look at something like Solano, it's something like maybe 191. If we move above there, we won't turn bullish on a weekly time frame until we get above there. But at the moment, the daily time frame is definitely bullish, and there's no real reason to worry. We can see we've got that nice trending up of the trailing stop loss there. So again, we're looking at something like 191 for a full-on weekly buy signal. And then things get very interesting for uni, I should imagine. Sorry, Solano. If we have a look at XRP, there's lots of very exciting things going on for XRP. Not only are we testing above a multi-year trend line breakout at the moment, but we're getting a nice buy signal and a nice trend up of that stop loss, tremendous growth for it. And we've actually tested the weekly time frame parabolic SAR and failed so far. But I think if we get above this trend line and we make traction above there next week, then this coin could really explode. And I think it's probably one of the primary coins that I'm going to be looking at next week. If we have a look at Ethereum, again, we're looking at about 4,000 before this goes fully bullish on the weekly time frame. And that's something to watch out for next week with the ETH ETF. So, and also, again, I've got some complementary trend lines in there. I will make a nice triangle breakout. So if you do get above there and the parabolic SAR, which are kind of merging there, then I suspect 4,500 wouldn't be a challenge. And again, on the daily time frame, Ethereum, nice and bullish, and it's got tremendous room for growth. And again, around 4,500 would be the immediate target. Although I'm expecting as much as 6,000 if this market really does get going. If you have any questions on the parabolic SAR indicator, please do let me know. If you'd like me to analyze any coins next week, I'll be very happy to do so. I guess you can reach me on Discord or email anytime you want. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.